r/ask Reddit. What did the popular kid at your school do to go from cool to an absolute outcast? Killed an infant in a car accident. Completely shut down during senior year. Wouldn't talk to anybody anymore. I had a cousin who died as a very small child because she walked out from behind two parked cars into the street out front of a church. A young man was driving to church and accidentally killed her. He never drove again. Ruined his whole life. Poor guy. My college roommate knew a guy that did the exact same thing. Accidentally hit a small child that came out between parked cars. And I think he may have even served jail time because it was, I believe, on the main road of a very small PA town and he was going like 5-10 miles per hour over the speed limit. I can't really recall because it was like 6+ years ago. She also said it ruined him. So very sad for all parties. Also, my condolences. Very sorry to hear this kind of thing happens all over. Edit. I suck. Crack. He and his couple friends started smoking crack senior year of high school. They got quarantined to themselves. Ran into one of them a couple weeks ago. He kept trying to get me back to their apartment to do meth. Well, at least he's off the crack. He upgrades to crack plus. Most popular kid in my middle school was this big Samoan dude. Looked like he was 13 going on 25 years old. I remember he gained a lot of popularity when he serenaded this girl in class to ask her to the dance. He had music playing on his iPhone and he started belting out love songs while on bended knee. Later on that year he went from hero to zero when we found out he'd been molesting his sister. 0-100 real duckin' quick. Oh god, hope he chokes on a straw. Drugs. You're the cool kid in 9th grade if you're smoking weed all the time. You're not the cool kid in 12th grade if you're addicted to heroin. Sent his girlfriend's naked pics to the whole school. Whoa, what a scumbag. The worst part of it was the excuse he gave. I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to send it to everyone. Just a couple guys from the basketball team. He ended up switching schools. He was popular because he was a rebel that talked back to teachers and insulted them openly. He became an outcast because he made the teacher everyone loved cry. I had a guy in my class do this recently. Nobody really talks to him anymore. Rule 1 of school. Don't duck with the cool teachers. Edit. And don't be a douche to the not so cool ones. Killed 2 university students while drunk driving and then complained because she wouldn't be able to go to the bar and get drunk on her 18th birthday. How shallow and narcissistic do you have to be to pull this shit? Ducking hell. There's someone further up who killed a kid entirely by accident and went into self-imposed isolation because of the guilt. Pretty ducking shallow and narcissistic. Unfortunately, I know a girl from high school who hit a stroller while plastered. She had 2 ducking miracles happen to her that year. 1, the child wasn't in the stroller, the mom had pulled them out while talking to a friend, and 2, somehow the judge didn't hit her with the book and agreed to let her keep her license and skip jail with the condition of probation. No drinking and mandatory AA. She posted on Facebook, probation starts tomorrow, who wants to get plastered before I can't anymore. She didn't even make it 1 day. He hooked up with 2 of his friends' girlfriends. They ditched him after that. Edit. People are asking why the girls went along with it. This was high school, and there was a lot of partying and alcohol. No excuses. But for a lot of people, it was their first time getting drunk and completely wasted. Edit 2. One guy dumped his girlfriend for cheating but the other one didn't. I guess it was because she was his first love and childhood sweetheart, so he forgave her. This kid in middle school used to talk shit to everyone. He had nice stuff his parents got him and everyone thought he was tough and could fight until one day he started on a special needs kid. Nobody had ever actually seen the popular kid fight. He just was excellent at intimidation. Now a lot of the special needs kids in my area weren't just students who were mentally challenged, but had overall learning disabilities. Many of those kids came from very tough homes and the special needs kid who the popular kid messed with was an absolute savage. He grew up in a pretty tough part of town but was really a gentle giant. He could play football. He was muscular. He could do everything the regular students could do except speak properly, a minor speech impediment. The popular kid challenged him to a one-on-one fight and got his ass kicked by the special needs kid. I'm talking blood everywhere. His clothes got ripped. One of his sneakers landed like 10 feet away, and to top it all off he even tried running away after the first few punches. The special needs kid grabbed him and pulled him back. It was a massacre. The popular kid not only lost all of his influence but didn't even have the guts to come back to school for like a week. If I ever saw instant karma, it would have had to have been on this day, because he was quiet as a mouse the rest of the years through high school. A lot of the special needs kids in my elementary to high school were pretty regular, they just had anger problems. So everyone knew not to say anything too offhand. My boyfriend in junior high school told one of the special needs kids his breath was stale and he got his head busted open on the side of the building. I was friends with one of the girls in special ed. When she found out her BF was cheating, she knocked the other girl out with one punch and kept going. It was brutal. She was beautiful and smart, just easily provoked. Neither of them got suspended though. Edit. School administrator here. In the US, schools cannot suspend a child with an IEP, individualized education plan, without reconvening the entire IEP team. Teachers, specialists, parents, administrators, nurse, etc. The team then would have to determine whether the behavior was a manifestation of the child's disability or not. If it is a manifestation, then interventions and other strategies to manage the behavior need to be tried to ensure that we're not unfairly punishing a child for something they cannot control. If not a manifestation, then the child can be suspended. After a certain number of manifestation meetings, then a child could potentially be outplaced to a special school. It's possible that manifestation meetings were held and you weren't aware of it. Edit. Schools can suspend kids up to a certain number of days before holding the manifestation meeting. Thank you u/Nanelson for the reminder. Most of the administrators I know personally really think long and hard before doing so anyway in the case of IEP students, and try to go for less intense punishments first. She tried to manipulate all her friends and pit them against each other with a bunch of catty lies. Well, that in combination with wearing her pageant sash and crown to school for like a week. Open bracket. All girls school. Was your friend Iago by any chance? The parrot from Aladdin? There was a guy that was pretty popular. He got really drunk at a party and totally didn't know where he was. He pulled down his pants, squatted and totally started to poop. He moved away immediately. He was a senior and I was in 8th grade. That was well over 25 years ago. Well, he friended me on Facebook a couple months ago and I kinda recognized him. I racked my brain and it came to me. The guy who pooped at the party. Poor guy. Sometimes when I'm pooping at home in my own bathroom I think, what if I'm delusional and I'm really somewhere else? What if I fell asleep at work and I'm dreaming and pooping in my chair? What if I wake up and there's poop everywhere? It haunts me. You are not alone. I've had the same awful thought. I think it's because I have had so many dreams where I am peeing or pooping and it's in really weird places. For instance, like 2 nights ago I dreamt I was on a toilet in the back of a truck, pooping, while the car was driving and water kept splashing my butt. You are not alone. Well, the popular girl at my school tried to ruin the life of a really sweet girl because of boyfriend drama. When she realized people were standing up for the sweet girl instead, she lost her mind, accusing the other girl and her boyfriend of property damage, turning on anyone who didn't swear loyalty to her, turning people against one another, screaming at teachers. It was a mess. The nail in the coffin was when she confided to me and 2 others that she was planning to put laxatives in the pastries she baked for the class. Obviously I let people know, and she became completely ostracized. She left at the end of junior year, and senior year was the most chill year ever. I don't blame you for letting people know. You can't let that shit slide. Unbelievable smooth comment. He seduced a quiet girl in school. She was really soft spoken but super nice to everyone. Basically everyone's little sister. She was absolutely beloved by everyone in her year, and he was a year older. He was her first love, and he ducked her once, took her virginity, and then essentially abandoned her. She was devastated by it, and it broke her for the rest of the time she was at school. She went right into her shell and barely spoke to anyone. When he started bragging about what he did, everyone hated him. He even got beat up a few times because people were so angry at what he did. That really is messed up, but it's so wholesome that your school came together to stand up for this girl. For the children. There was a popular cheerleader at my school that was in a bad car wreck and she suffered severe brain damage. The day she came back, some of her friends, aka the popular kids, sat with her at lunch. Every day after that though, they sat on the other side of the cafeteria in their normal spot and she was with the other special needs students. They would walk past her without saying a word. As far as everyone knew, her entire group of friends completely abandoned her. I don't think she missed them though. So silver lining, she seemed to be very happy most of the time after the accident. Not so much before. This was in the mid-late 80s, and every teen movie with a bunch of shitty preppies pretty much accurately depicts the popular kids in my HS. Exact same happened in my class. She had a shitty boyfriend who she wanted to break up with because he was mean to her, but he died in the accident, so all she remembered was how great he was because of her mental issues after the accident. Edit. It's been 35 years. After telling my kids about this, I remember that though she had some small memory coordination issues, she was on the cheer squad senior year. My class had some jackasses, but this girl wasn't treated poorly. Pulled out a knife and slashed another student. Kid with a knife went to outcast status. Kid that got slashed became super cool and had a scar. Everyone wanted to see it. He can link to an article about the stabbing if anyone's interested. Edit. https://www. Telegraph Company. UC News /12,199,703 School bans phones after pupils post videos of teen being stabbed in playground. HTML. So your school had a knife incident and their response was to ban phones. The phones who had the evidence were to blame, but not the knife or the lack of security in school. Sounds like school. Got hit by a train. Everyone cared about him until he got out of the hospital and wasn't the same mentally. From head trauma. All the other popular kids mock him and have him blocked on social media to this day. That's messed up. Something similar happened in my high school. Kid got drunk and dove head first into a pool that was drained of water. Nearly died. Came out of the hospital a totally different dude. He received, mostly, nothing but support and encouragement from the whole school. Although some were apathetic due to the nature of the situation that led to the injury. Robbie was a big huge ducking bully. I used to play football with him. Watched a coach go full ducking psycho on him, literally kicking him in the ass all the way off the field because he spit on a player, and the goddamn gall of it just sent the coach into a ducking rage. And Robbie mocked him the whole way off the field. But when that kid hit you, it was like a ducking freight train. He was always very dumb and angry and ducking rabbit. He teased everyone for everything, yet somehow remained pretty popular in the upper echelon because he hit like a beast and won football games. Then one day, it was so ducking weird, he came to school in a sweater with an uniround button down underneath. He usually came to school in torn shirts and basketball shorts and was generally a disheveled mess. He had an older brother, Ronnie, who never looked like any of that, so we knew he wasn't poor. He was just being Robbie, so this was a big deal, and it was bizarre. And when people asked him what was up with it, he would just say, "I'm gay now." It was so ducking strange. He did not lose any intensity, but he kept saying like, "I'm gay now. I like boys, okay? And I want a boyfriend. You wanna go out?" I saw him get genuinely upset with people laughing at him. He'd just scream, "It's not a joke. I'm ducking gay, you a-holes." Nobody knew what to do with it. We were a country school. We had a gay kid. A kid Robbie had bullied. Now Robbie was trying to hang out with him. Nobody wanted to touch that ducking weirdness with a 10-foot pole. We figured best case scenario the dude had lost a bet, but then he did it the next day, and the next. For months he kept dressing a Robbie version of preppy and proclaiming his gayness. Pretty sure he got an earring at some point. If I remember correctly, he later recanted all of this and screamed down anyone that brought it up. Maybe it was a legit attempt to come out, but he just Robbied the whole thing up until it was unpalatable. He's in prison now. Edit. This got pretty big. Gonna change your name to mask it a bit more. Of all the stories, this one raises the most questions by far. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.